Pop. Alright, my bad. Alright, close that joint. Salutations. Salutations to Lord Ganesha. Remove our obstacles. Please make my undertakings free of obstacles by extending your blessings in my work. Salutations to my Swati. You know what I'm saying? Keep me focused on the path, just learning. Not trying to gain, just wanting to gain knowledge and continue learning. You know what I'm saying? Salutations to value the breath. Right. So this is the chart for the new moon on Friday, November 1st. It's going to be in the sign of Libra and the star of Swati. And in the DMV area, the ascending going to be in Libra in the star of Ashaka. So it's still Libra. Partnerships, business, trade, relationships, filial love. So filial love is where the sex ends, so does the relationship. Wherever the business ends, so does the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Ruled by Venus, planet of enjoyment, pleasure, lubrication. You know what I'm saying? Smoothing things out and just pleasant times, pleasant experiences. So this is a chart. As you can see, Moon is with Sun in Libra. Sun debilitates at the 10th degree of Libra, so Sun is exiting and leaving, deep debilitation. So that may, what is that? The identity, sense of self, purpose, morals, they all kind of come up out of that funkiness. They're no longer as weak as previously, but still kind of weak. You dig what I'm saying? So new moons is just a time for stillness, turning inward, intention settings. If you into agriculture or the almanac, they tell you this is a fine time to plant seeds, sow seeds. You dig what I'm saying? So new moon, the chart for the new moon gonna give influences over the next 15 some odd days leading up to fullness, right? So the thing for the full moon is Libra. We just look at Libra, we look at Venus and whatever is aspect in the moon. So new moon in Libra. Libra is the field of relationships and interaction. It's movable, is its quality. Air is its element and Venus is its lord. So movable air is initiating through relationships, interactions, one-to-one conversations, consultations, or exchanges. And then Venus is the planet of love, lust, enjoyments, and liquid money. You know what I'm saying? Or just anything that is liquid, you feel me? Or brings or has liquidity. So it's an easy, fair kind of exchange, diplomatic and harmonious. You know what I'm saying? So Libra is symbolized by a scale, or in some instances you might look at it and be like, is it a pendulum? In old times, it was just the claws of the scorpion, and then every zodiac has to correspond to an animal. So Libra at one point, if not the claws of the scorpion, it was a donkey, because you put a donkey. Libra is the lower back. You put whatever you carry in a store or you're trying to move, you put that on the ass, and then the donkey kind of just move at its pace and they go around, and that's those two or whatever bags or luggage or whatever you storing on that donkey as it's moving, it's going from side to side on the ass. And that's what Libra represents. So it's maybe it's about balance, but it's also the sign of open conflict. So it's like you compromise and you're gonna have to give up some space, and you're gonna have to take some space. So understanding this exchange. Libra is the marketplace. A scale, more so than trying to balance things out, a scale represents, okay, what is that? Is that Saffron flowers. Okay, how much is those going for? And you use a scale to measure. So you measuring whatever I got to exchange or you want. We put that on the scale, see how much it weigh. Okay, the trade-off is per pound or per weight of or per measurement of this. In exchange, I'm gonna need such and such, and you gotta put that on the scale. And like, okay, so if it's saffron for gold coins or something, and we just weighing them, not necessarily counting them, and then I put that on that scale, and then you put that on that scale. Once it even out, okay, cool. We make an exchange, we shake hands, and we leave because it's filial love. So it's like I love to do business with you because the moment that weight it get measured out and it's equal, it's fair, it's a fair exchange. We shake hands and we end the agreement, we end the contract. So that's Libra. I in the game of life. So look, the constellation Virgo, right? I use whole sign system, but when you look at the body of the cosmic mind from Aries to Pisces, the constellation Virgo is the intestines. Our intestines are at least 2 to 3 times bigger or longer than our entire body, and at least and verily any one part or section of our bodies. So it's a lot of weight there. Then Scorpio is our privates, but it's the secrets. It most of Scorpio hangs beneath the ecliptic, so it's like below the belt. It's things that you don't see, and it's forces and impulsions, inclinations, a lot of things going on. And then just that part of the sky, that part of our sky, it's a lot going on. It's very dark, but the stars, it's many stars. Some are very distant. Then you, at Sagittarius, you get to the galactic center. So now Libra, because of the weight of that part of the cosmos, it kind of split. Mars and Mercury aren't friends either, so they split. Now we got to create harmony. We have to balance out the suffering that we find in the 6th house of Virgo, and the suffering and pain and unexpected events that we find in the sign and house of Scorpio. We balance that with harmony. We balance that with enjoyments and stuff like that. And so the small kind of constellation of Libra provides a fulcrum between personal endeavors and then outward or material endeavors and then spiritual endeavors. Once you get from Virgo to Scorpio, you begin to change where you are above or below the ecliptic. So that's what Libra is there for, to show like, all right, life really be about balance. Like all the things you go through, you're gonna have to learn to balance those things. You dig what I'm saying? So I talk a lot about people that eat burgers and eat animals, but I understand it's just life is about a balance. There will come a time where it's like animals, it's not going to be so keen to approach human beings because it has to be a balance. It's like, haven't you had enough? You dig what I'm saying? You leave them in the house, then when you come back with dead flesh and dead animals. It's just like, okay, balance. Talking too much. So balance, allocation, or adjustment of oneself. I ain't a pull of the environment, because it's like Maya. There's a forces and stuff you won't see, but it's illusions. It's just a lot, right? So Moon in Libra, keeping it simple, is charming, diplomatic. It is refined, pleasant emotions and instincts. Sun is debilitated, so the confidence, health, sense of self, and identity all suffer and are weak. During kind of weak, or coming out of a very weak point this month. So facing darkness, coming out of that. Sun sets in Libra, so it's like ain't got no strength. Your ego, your confidence, it's not really assured and it's not strong. And then Venus is a dispositor for the moon, sun and moon, and it is in Scorpio, so it's going to show like intense feelings, ideas, and your confidence is going through a transformation right now. The instincts and feelings concerning relationships, or how one stands alone in partnership, because the star is Swati about going your own way, right? Or it might show an obsession with sex, relationship, and Libra topics and stuff like that. Unhealthy motivations behind the relations. So new moon in this chart is receiving an aspect from Mars. Fourth aspect. Fourth aspect is about capture and control. So wanting control of something. But just Mars influence is going to give anger, the possibility for quarrels, power struggles, and stuff like that. That's going to happen. It's going to be that y'all like going to be characteristic this month. Frustrations from the desire to either be in a relationship or frustrations from whatever power struggles in a current relationship. You dig what I'm saying? But it's just Mars is misplaced anger. Mars is like third lord in my chart. So when I'm driving, I'm having issues where it's like, what are y'all doing? So I have to be extra defensive. Mars in Cancer is defensive, but it can be like defensive in a like, what's the like lashing out kind of defensive. You dig what I'm saying? So new moon is also trying Saturn. Saturn delays what he influences. He brings results over time according to karma, effort, and work and hard work. But Saturn brings a influence of objectivity and detachment. So when these power struggles are occurring, the grace trine is a grace, blessing, help, unconscious support. So the trine to Saturn brings the ability to kind of, okay, let me pause. Saturn is pause. Delays might not necessarily be a bad thing. He might be trying to keep you from a bigger failure. Saturn delays, but he don't deny. If you want it, you can have it if you determine for it and if you'll persist. But if you won't persist, you won't get it. You'll deny yourself of that. He won't deny you. It's just the timing ain't right. Saturn is the planet of time and in a way harmony, because he exalts in Libra. And timing is associated with music. You got good timing, you making good music. Right? So just understanding the timing of things. I'm watching people switch lanes, but it's like your timing off. If you was paying attention, that whole space was open, but you want to dip. You dig what I'm saying? It's just all right. So check my timer. 12 minutes in. This is from Yasmin Boland's 5 things to do for this new moon half, right? 1 is really relate. How well do you relate to others? Libra is a sign of partnership and one-to-one interactions. So how well are you getting along with others? How well are you when it comes to being a friend, a lover, a co-worker, a relative, even an ex or enemy? Like, how are you doing that? You dig what I'm saying? Even ops calling, hey man, where you at? Hey man, where you at? I'm looking for you. You dig what I'm saying? Are you checking up on people? How are you relating to them? All right. Number 2, partner up. Libra is a sign of the marketplace, exchanges, and open conflicts. But it's like your 7th house shows the ideal person you do business with. So partnerships, relationship, business agreements, they all get special attention. They are highlighted this month. If your current arrangement needs work, then the issues may arise. Venus is in Scorpio, so there's a transformation going on in either how you perceive and experience relationships, how you imagine your purpose to be in relationships, or the purpose of a relationship in your life. You dig what I'm saying? All those things kind of going through transformations. If you are in one, maybe it's going through a transformation. It might be hot and steamy, very passionate, or in the negative, maybe it's some scandals going on. Scorpio shakes things up. So either way, it's charm, relatability is on the forefront, and a deep kind of magnetism for everybody. They're gonna say, pay attention. Number 3, negotiate. Libra is a sign that it's the field of refinement. So making things more harmonious, trying to make things more beautiful. Libra being the scales, when the scales weigh and they equal, not talking about all of that it's like I got what I got, and it's worth whatever it is in gold, or it's worth whatever it is in terms of the currency. Once they equal out, it's a fair exchange, and y'all just created a win-win, and that's very favorable for the game. You dig what I'm saying? But the idea of usury or trying to get over on somebody, it actually, you think it's a win-lose or whatever, but it don't work. Libra was built to balance whatever the devices in the sixth house and the scandals in the eighth house. Libra is there to balance these things. So it's like you can't really get over. And Saturn exalts in Libra, so you're going to get your karma if you think you're getting over somebody. You shorted that person a gram, you gonna get that back. You feel me? You ran off on somebody, you gonna get that karma back. If you set up there and you said you would provide a service and you procrastinated on that, you had the spirit of procrastination, you getting your karma for that. You dig what I'm saying? So it's no getting over at all. You work a job and you think you getting over, or you might take a too long a break, or you got too much to say, or you only work really hard when such and such here, but everybody else see you slacking off. You're not getting away with that. It's just, you dig what I'm saying? Like, so you got negotiate, renegotiate anything that don't seem like a win-win. And then in some instances, you may negotiate should be compromised. So you might have to just bow out as soon as because if you committed it in your mind, you might just need to bow out. Because these things, we need balance and harmony. You dig what I'm saying? And really accountability is the biggest thing. Seventh to the seventh house is the first house. So a lot of your interactions really reflect based upon your own nature and how you come across. If I got Rahu in the first house, my first impression of others is that, okay, I don't know if I could trust this guy. He seemed a little, what's Rahu, malefic, cunning, obsessed, you feel me, unpredictable. But I also would have K2 in the seventh house, which means I view other people as being unpredictable, a little bit headless, in illusions or something like, you think what I'm saying? So really kind of, renegotiate might mean even like to really reconsider. So number 4, look gorgeous, refined and beautiful. Libra is ruled by Venus. It's the strong sign of Venus. So it's about instead of material possessions and having nice things, it's about like experiencing nice things, looking nice. Once again, Libra is a seventh house that reflects the first house. So how you come across the others is usually shown in how you appear. People can kind of surmise who, like a bit of your aesthetic. You dig what I'm saying? And then the symbol for Venus looks like a hand mirror. So it's a circle on top of a cross. I don't have a mirror in here, in the bathroom, but you hold the mirror and you look at yourself in that zone. But Venus in Libra is telling you, look at yourself. You dig what I'm saying? Could you shave? Could you, do something with your hair, something with your wardrobe and things like that? That's an easy way to attract people to you and stuff like that. You wouldn't want to let the appearance be the interference. So to attract people, you just be attractive, right? 5, the last one is regain your identity. Consider if you have codependent tendencies, right? Relying on others for your own sense of self. Sun debilitates in Libra, which shows a person that kind of just, I need to be in a relationship, or I need to relate to other people for, like, if I don't, then who am I? You think what I'm saying? A person like, I don't even know who I am if my friend's not around. That might be a typical Libra and stuff like that. And if they ain't, in a negative way, if Libra operating negatively, this person actually tries to find like a girl. If it's a guy, or if it's a girl, it's a they go to find a guy or something like that. But truth be told, they're just always running from person to person, trying to find themselves or trying to cover up what they lack in themselves, or they just trying to be in some, like they just feel more comfortable being in somebody's shadow or things like that. If it's acting negatively, some represents identity. If it falling in Libra, that means the identity is lacking, the sense of self is not strong, the confidence is weak. You dig what I say? Suffer from a low self-esteem, maybe, right? But sometimes being in a partnership too long, right? That means you in that person's seventh house, and that seventh house derivative of their first house. So now you end up becoming more like them, and now like, oh, I lost myself. Who am I? Seventh house is a part of the karma triangle, and in the North Indian chart, this makes, it's, what is it? Third house, 11th house, and then 7th house right here. So it point down. So sometimes, most of the time, or oftentimes, I'll say, your associations in life have the pool, I guess the pool of Maya associated with them that can bring you down. It'll pull you down into like covetousness, which is the root of all sins, is covetousness, or cupidity, which is like the desire for material possessions and material enjoyment. Rahu is the planet that gives boga, or bondage, and brings us into this world due to its endless desire for material enjoyment. Rahu is the lord of the star of Swati in this new moon. So Swati Nakshatra, it spans from 6 degrees 40 minutes of Libra to 20 degrees Libra. It's the star of individuality, a self-going star. Right? Let me get my time. Pretty decent. Vayu is the presiding deity. Vayu is the god of breath and the air element. The air and ether element, or Vayu, is what allows the mind, the immaterial mind, to connect with and animate or create individuality within the physical body and the physical realm. All things within the physical, it is the Vayu element that allows those things to be to individualize, individuate, and kind of animate. Right? It is the connection, the connection between the etheric energies into the electrical energies in the brain and the synapses, right down to the nervous system in the body. And okay, now we're moving around and we can move and stuff, right? That's what the wind does. The symbol is a young sprout bending against the wind, or coral rooted in the sea floor. What was that, sea point? I don't know. Hold on. So the Shakti is the power to scatter or disperse like the wind. So it suggests, spreading out, going from, going to far-reaching places, having far-reaching ideas, Rahu, or having one's name spread far. Your associations, you have far-reaching associations with others, right? Scatter and disperse like the wind. The wind gives strength. The element Vayu creates suffering in the body in Ayurveda, but it also helps to strengthen bones in a way, or maybe it weakens the bones, but it creates suffering in the body. So this is strength through flexibility, being able to adapt, getting strength through adapting to the nature of things, like finding, okay, balance. Okay, it's disharmonious, I might have to get up and go somewhere else. Swati natives will operate like that, like, oh, things is not harmonious here, I don't like it, I can't really focus or whatever, I gotta go my own way. See what I'm saying? In a negative sense, they might just not be getting their way, and then they just go away. So in a negative sense, they might set up this, not necessarily start shit, but get into things with people, and then like get out of that. Like I said, like Libras, if the moon or sun ain't right, they will constantly go from person to person, right? To avoid themselves, right? So it's when. So this is like striving with the Spirit of God. In the Bible, they say the Spirit of God will not strive for man forever. His years are 120. The Spirit of God is the breath. You think I'm saying? The breath that is involuntary. All you do is kind of focus on its pattern, and it'll get deeper or more shallow based upon your awareness of it. And based upon your awareness and seeking out the Spirit of God in life, it's either going to grow or it's not. It's going to get deeper or it's more shallow. You dig what I'm saying? Rahu is Star Lord, forward looking, unusual, foreign elements, unpredictable, and worldly. Right? So Swati means independent, very good, a sword that discriminates. The roots are Su, Sva, Ati. Su means good, and the only good is God in Hermetic literature. Sva means one's own nature, one's own property, one's own individuality, one's own self, soul, or other meanings is natural, innate, or inherent. Swa, a planet Swa is a planet's own sign. So this is a planet's own sign. It reflects their self, nature, individuality. Venus in Libra is Venus in Swa, right? So Ati means excessive, a lot of, go up to, go beyond, or overcome. Like Adi Shesha. Right? So our individuality and innate abilities are linked with the breath or grace of God in our lives. So there's some stories where it's like it's this big tree and there's a storm humming. But let's say, yeah, I'm gonna talk too much. But just know, if the wind makes us stronger and it's the breath that gives us life, if we had to focus on breathing, nothing could get done. It's due to the fact that we don't really gotta think about a lot of things that we do, but especially breathing, which is so vital to life. Our life rests on us breathing, and it's an involuntary parasympathetic, somatic. Well, no, it becomes somatic when you focus on it, which is soma. We don't think about breathing, so now it's like, okay, a person can run track, a person can sit up there and get in shape and exercise, a person can sit up there and, I don't know, draft a book or draft architectural design. People could do things just because the breath. Like, even I know somebody that rap, and it's like, I guarantee people that rap don't think about taking a breath. It just, however much they need, they might take a small gasp and they just keep going. So it's like, it's not even a thing we think about, and that's how like show unconscious support. That's like it show the grace of God. All right. Anything that we do well, we just like should attribute to the will of God. So Swati is the ego, the ability to establish an identity. This identity, however, rests upon the value life air. Thus, the realized ego is integrated and strives with the breath, the life air, in realizing its own abilities. It's Swati. So this is from Victor Carr's 27 Stars, 27 Gods. Check my time, decent. There was once a silk cotton tree so huge that its branches would not move in any storm, nor would even a single leaf or flower fall. A great sage, Narada, took shelter of this tree during a storm, and, amazed, praised the tree's power. The tree became very proud and considered to itself more powerful than Vayu. Hearing of this, Vayu came and said, "You fool! If you are strong, fight me here and now." Vayu blew off all the tree's fruits, flowers, and leaves. He then explained to the humiliated tree, "Long ago, Brahma rested in your shade. Out of deference to the sacred place, I have always stilled my winds near you. It is not your power that made you great. It was my grace." So similar to what I was saying earlier. So Vayu in the Rig Vedic hymns is often seen in company with Indra, who is the champion of heaven. Heaven is Svarga. The Svar is there again. So Svarga or Swarga means heaven, paradise, a state being in content or ecstasy or bliss. In Joitish, oh yeah, I said that a planet Swa is applying its own sign, where a planet is comfortable and its natural nature is performing well. So it's like a blessed state of being. So Vayu in the Vedic hymns is awarded the first drop of Soma. Soma is the mind substance, like everything of the mind. So the mind is Manas, which is the mind, Chittas, which is imagination and creativity, Buddhi, which is awareness and intellect, and then Amkara, which is the ego, identity. So all of those things, Soma is also has to be churned. So we talk about, the somatic part of the sympathetic system. It's like the voluntary and involuntary actions. They become the more voluntary ones are somatic. So it's like you focusing. If you do meditation, you come to a realization. Or if you still your mind, you calm your mind, and you get those waters still or churned or whatever, right? Different jewels pop up, man, and then but this substance that gives inspiration and bliss and contentment, it comes up in the mind, and the first one to have a sip of that is Vayu, the breath, the spirit of God. You dig what I'm saying? It descends down onto that inspiration. What is it giving? It give knowledge. It might give power. It could give like strength in a way, right? Usually it's like purification. So Soma is the mind or the substance of the mind. Indra Vayu is the lightning power inside of the clouds, and likewise the etheric electric connection of neurons and synapses to the brain and nervous system. You dig what I'm saying? So when the Soma is prepared in the mind, that means when the mind is prepared, the spirit of God, right, and the influences of God descends down onto that mind, and now that mind in turn sends information and stuff like that, or pure. It helps to whatever the body, and then all your actions after that. Like, ideally, right? So, da 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 da. So his yeah. The Vayu's Vahana or his vehicle is the antelope. Soma's vehicle is the deer. So the deer like antelope, fleeting, swift creatures. They show the influences of the mind and the synapses and the brain and everything. It's so fast, it jumps around, it's swift, it can turn on, like it might be going this way, and next thing you know, it's going the total opposite direction. It's not is you would need Vayu, the grace of God, you dig what I'm saying, as some inspiration in order to deal with the fleeting fickleness of the mind, how fast it just come and go. So Vayu is the force of prana, it's the life air. It is what individualizes us. You dig what I'm saying? In its path, it's like 5 different Vayus. You have the prana represented by the sun. This is like the inhale or maybe the exhale. You got apana is the inhale or exhale. Or you have the still breath. I'm gonna just call it the still breath. I'm not aware of it. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't have it up. So also associated with this star is Ma Saraswati. So she is the goddess of knowledge, wisdom, language, the arts, inspiration, music, right? Learning. The name means the essence of one's own self, the essence of learning, the essence of no. Yeah. So Saras means pooling water, and sometimes it's taken as mean as speech. Swati is the one in possession of something. Ati means abounding or having a lot of. So the essence of oneself is mostly water. So Saraswati is having a lot of pooling water. Human beings, 70% water, we are pooling water. She is Brahmi, which is the representation of Brahma's creativity, his power, which is Brahma is a creator, but Saraswati is creativity and imagination, right? So she is the consort of Brahma in Vedic hymns. And in biblical literature, Sarah is the wife of Abraham. Before Sarah was the H, it was Sarai, and it was Abram. And then the Lord gave them the breath, and he put Sarah with an H, and now it's Abraham, because the breath is now with them. The Spirit of God resides with them. You dig what I'm saying? So, Saraswati. In her forearms, she holds a book, represents all forms of knowledge, all forms of learning, and divine knowledge. Mala beads that represent meditation and inner reflection. A pot of soma. Soma is the inspiration and state of mind that brings knowledge. And then a vina is an instrument. It represents music, creative arts, and creative sciences, right? Or just science in general, because you got music theory and then the notes. I was trying to get into that. I am going to get into that. That's kind of like my thing for this new moon. I'm going to be trying to figure that out. So the Vahana for my Saraswati is the swan. A swan is a symbol of purity, devotion to a routine, and the ability to distinguish the essence of things, right? They can separate milk from water. I don't know how they are able to do that, but they say swans can separate milk from water. They can sit up there, get the milk out of some and leave the water. Don't get that, but hey, that's how learning is. You got to be able to, okay, it's going to be a whole bunch of information that comes to your mind, milk and water, right? But you got to be able to discern and use the sword of, discrimination, and use the way of the swan to be able to show, okay, this is essential, good knowledge, all of this other, I don't need that. It's water, it seek its own level. It'll find whoever it need to go to, right? So swans, and I was learning, swans, they really are dedicated to their routine. Once they pick up a routine as a swanling, they do that. So whatever is the time that they preen and anoint themselves, they do that. If they do it multiple times a day, they do that the same, around the same time, same every other day or every day. And in the same spot. Ideally, they're going to try to do it in the same spot. Swans, is it swans? They stay with whoever they make swanlings with. They stay with that swan. And if their partner dies, they're heartbroken, because now everything is destroyed. Their routines fucked up. Hold on, what? And a swan that kind of died from a broken heart. Interestingly enough, the card for this lunation is the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak, heartache, loss, grief. Grief really changes us. They're gonna say a person changed totally because of grief, right? So then they anoint themselves with a secretion from an oil gland to keep themselves clean, but also to act as a protector against the filth around them. You dig what I'm saying? Swans don't even like filthy areas. If it's not too crazy, you can see them cleaning up trash. But other than that, totally they will vacate the area. They will not allow themselves to get dirty. And likewise, my Saraswati goddess of learning kind of telling us that the true seeker of knowledge, or a seeker of truth and knowledge, that person won't really, they're going to always constantly anoint themselves multiple times a day. So as a reminder, and as a means to protect themselves from any false doctrines and filthy ideas that they may come across, any lies. You dig what I'm saying? So also associated, I, I don't know. Leading up to this, I had read some. He's like a manga, and he was in this jump, but I was like, hold on, they talking about something. So Susano or no, so Mikoto or something. So Susanoo is a Japanese kami. He presides over the seaplanes, which is like the beach. But the seaplanes is anywhere where it's always 70% water. You dig what I'm saying? So seaplanes, storms, lightning, swords, and the underworld. So that's both the water, underworld, the world of the dead, and just underneath the soil, things that grow. So he is one of three siblings, and he was born when his father, Izanagi, he had traveled to the underworld, the world of Yomi, and when he came back, he had washed his face because it's the underworld. It's kind of it's a dusty, deceased, dead place. So he cleanses himself, and while he washing his face, three children were born. Amaterasu, sun goddess, was born from his left eye. Tsukuyomi, the moon god, was born from his right eye, and then Susano, he was born from his nose. We use our nose to breathe. You dig what I'm saying? So breath, and the breath of I guess primordial or supreme kind of god, right? So the breath of the supreme in this sense, the Japanese supreme. He became kami of the earth and seaplane. Born from the nose is an allusion to the wind, the breath of God, the vayu element. Susano means impetuous man. There are languages that believe the word is not of Japanese origin, and it might be a mix of things, but it's thought that it comes from the words or the verbs susabu, to act impetuously, or susumu, which means to advance and act impetuously. So the lightning and storm influence shows a link to the impulses of the synapses that descend from heaven, because he ended up getting banished. Susano got banished from heaven because it's just he was too predictable. He was never just he was always coming and going, just like your breath is always coming and going, and your synapses is always firing. Even when you can sit and you think you meditating, but your brain is in a wave state. You feel me? So he descended from heaven. He got banished from heaven. So the synapses and impulses come down, and we do things, and then we go and rest. And now Susano, he ended up going back to heaven. He make penance or something. Like he go do things, right? So he was banished from heaven onto the seaplanes, which is the physical body, right? To redeem the inhabitants. Like he went to go help them out. They was going through, they were suffering. And he wanted to go help them out and provide them with some assistance. That's what the breath do. So the card I say is the three of swords. That's heartbreak, sorrow, grief, detachment, addiction, depression, loss. Swords going through a fucking heart. I think it is Saturn and Libra too. So it's just show like difficulties, frustrations in relationships, business, filial love arrangements. You dig what I'm saying? Or it might show serious commitment. Saturn also show transformation. He is Karaka for the 8th house. So once again, transformation in relationships, transformation in how one perceives and views relationships as being. Like where do they stand in your life? You dig what I'm saying? Tears, letting things go, reminiscing about the past or past relationship and being bummed out and stuff like that. But yeah, and look, it's clouds, lightning, rain, electrical impulses, right? Come down onto your heart. It causes strife. It's like, oh my gosh, you feel me? You feel like you done got banished or some shit. But it's cool. It's light all around you. It's like gonna be brighter days. Saturn and Libra. It's a delay, but it's not a denial. Right. So the Sabian degrees, I usually always just go the 2 because they'll say 14 and 15, and the degree will be like 15 degrees and 24 minutes, which is actually Libra 16 Sabian degree, but full moon phase gonna kind of go from 15. The exact point is 15 degrees 24 minutes, but it's gonna go from like 14 leading up 15, 16. So Libra 15 is find its serenity and cycle. Nature gives us the model of how best to live from year to year. You know what I'm saying? Summertime, springtime. Springtime, you should be tending to the seeds that's about to grow. You dig what I'm saying? So that you can enjoy them Jones. Summertime, you should be getting ready for the harvest. So that way, once you get it, you can start storing it and budgeting and measuring. Because sun gonna go into Libra, that's harvest. Saturn exalts there, so you get to measure and doling out. Okay, let me allocate and make some adjustments and stuff like that to get through the winter. So cyclical nature of life is a given. Seasons come and go, day breaks and night falls. We have no possibility of entirely escaping them. It is not only society that requires a firm rhythm to operate. We do too. At first, we are challenged to fit in and conform to society's cycles. Yet later, we must surely go against them to resist both boredom and unconscious enslavement, dancing to another's tune. Yet beyond that is another wisdom, and that is to find a way to align our own path with external rhythms, to resonate with the environment and social group around us. This, in the end, is what brings peace beyond belief. Oh, no back, because Swati is about going above oneself, overcoming oneself, ego, what you identify with. You dig what I'm saying? Your habits, the vritties and whirlpools in your mind. You really gotta go above that shit. Everything always come full cycle. If I find myself getting mad, I be like, have I been mad at this before? And if I have, I gotta change something. You dig what I'm saying? Maybe it's the cycle of what is it? October. I was born in February, right? So October is naturally fall. But if I was born in February, what does that mean? That means this is damn near my winter. You dig what I'm saying? So the energy that I might have for things, I probably like not really into it. You dig what I'm saying? And come January Capricorn, that's like dead of winter for me and stuff. So winter kind of about to start for me. The end of my fall is good. So I'm about to just harvest, reap whatever is left, and you move on. You get what I'm saying? You kind of get ready to destroy some things. And it brings peace. It really do bring peace when you know the cycles. Now, interestingly enough, this is a star of going your own way, a self-going star, but it's located in the sign of cooperation. So it's like you have to have an identity. You have to have your own identity when you go into partnerships. You dig what I'm saying? You're looking for win-win situations. So a compromise is not. I don't know if I agree with that. That would show adultery, and at that point, y'all wasn't supposed to do that. You're not supposed to get involved in that. That's not a fair exchange. You want a win-win and a fair exchange with any type of interaction you have, especially the close ones. You dig what I'm saying? But when you don't have an identity, you can get the game ran on you, or you can get taken advantage of. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, so you just gotta know, like, is this person coming in about to be in a cycle of creation with you or destruction? Is this, you dig what I'm saying? Kinda gotta know. But you get peace when you understand cycles. The Alchemist, I live by this. The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho, he was like, he says in his book, if something happened one time, it might not ever happen again. If something happened 2 times, it's gonna happen a third. It's going to happen a third. So when it happened at one time and you don't like that experience, if you don't want that jump to be in a cycle, get out of there. If you notice it's the second time that cycle already started, find peace in that so that you know, okay, I still gotta get out of this jump. I might have to deal with this a third time. At that point, I'll just deal with that. But yeah. And then Libra 16 is the maintenance of a strong relationship between the realms. They both match up. Constant rebuilding of the foundation of our lives following repeated new realizations about the nature of reality. This one resonated with me a lot because I went full circle. I tried to get away from something. I was like, okay, I've been on this crazy. I feel like I can't separate how I'm viewing things from this thing. Tried to get away from it. Okay, read this, read that, look into that, really read it. I'm like, ooh, wow, okay. Just to come right back. Just to come right back with a brand new awareness of things. So it's like, oh man, can't even be mad. This is actually like, but you always gotta go back to basics. Just like the swan is always sitting there every day, routinely going over the same spots, anointing itself with its oil. That, you feel me? Anointing itself and getting its feathers and getting itself shiny and cleaning itself. Likewise, when you're getting into any type of knowledge, ideally you would want to focus on one type of subject. That's how you can really get a routine established. But when you seeking knowledge and truth and stuff like that, you just want to cover yourself in it. You dig what I'm saying? You in it, not even for, you just in it for the sake of being in it. And you anoint yourself every day with the basics. I do astrology. I talk too much sometimes, and that's how I know if I'm talking too much, or if I stutter, or if the first 20 some minutes of this zone I haven't finished it. It must be analysis paralysis. I'm not focused on the basics. When you stick to the basics, sun is self, identity, soul, moon is mind, emotions, instincts, Venus is love, nature, and what you enjoy, Mercury is speech, Mars is effort, Saturn is transformation, difficulties, discipline, hard work, focus, Jupiter is expansion. You keep it simple, you really get through a lot of things. And from what they say in like Tattva Shuddhi or Tantra, when you get to focusing on the subtleties of the different myriad of things, there are subtleties, you start to notice they're not really different at all. It's an illusion of duality. Swati is she who is having a lot of pooling water, is a wave, my nigga. Water that pools up, nigga, that's a fucking wave. So she represents the quantum kind of wave, the fabric of the universe. It covers everything. You dig what I'm saying? Then when you try to distinguish it, because it's a power of the Lord, you try to distinguish it, it go away, it turn into a particle. But it's a thing that cannot really be distinguished. You dig what I'm saying? She also likened to rivers. Rivers do this, and they have a winding kind of motion. Right? So shifting of consciousness following a catastrophic loss. It is certain that the path to realization will take us away from the shores of structured reality into the deep waters of the unconscious aspects of self. These are dangerous waters. From time to time, we are very likely to be disturbed, and the security of a clearly defined ego can become temporarily unavailable. Our life is capsized. Following such a capsizing, we need to repair and rebuild our lives. It is all part of the process of evolution. After a storm, a boat landing stands in need of reconstruction. So yeah, you go. So one of the main in alchemy, they have a negrito phase, a blackening phase. It's a dark phase associated with death and a damn near rebirth. Like, oh my gosh, you bringing up so many dark themes and my shadow and all of that, right? Monstrous, evil kind of ideas, whatever they put on that joint. But it's necessary. That heartbreak and grief, which is really just grief, but grief is like, I don't know what it is about grief, but that, what do you call that? Grief as an ingredient of the spiritual alchemical process is so powerful. Like grief just in general just change a person whole mind, their brain, from their mind down. Grief just totally changes a person. Things like heartbreak or, like total disappointments, they really change a person's mind. Oh my gosh. Hey nigga, when you sit up there, motherfucker get robbed for the first time, be good shit. Oh my gosh. Cause all you can think is about everything that led up to that point. Like how they get the they must have, you see what I'm saying? You just be in your head like, man, from the jump, like where did it really go wrong at? It wasn't that moment. I must have got lined up way beforehand. Same with uh people that's in a relationship, they feel like they got played. They be like, hold on, how long was I getting played for? And then that shit bring them grief. And they change. You feel me? Motherfucker get abused. Um, some people get betrayed, get told on or backstabbed. That grief, they change. You dig what I'm saying? So the consciousness shifts. It's like, oh my gosh, the Maya has loosened up on me. Or the Maya has really hurt me. And I see it now. The subtleties or whatever. I see the evil. Dig what I'm saying? Bibliography. I got something from Mike Seeping Dogs. He is really good. James Burgess is the Sabian symbols. Wisdom Library is with the definitions. I had to go to what is that? Internet Archive, Sacred Text. Sacred Text, not Internet Archive. Sacred Text for the Rig Veda and Mahabharata, the Shanti Parva, 153, 156. Yasmin Boland's Moonology and mythology source. You dig what I'm saying? Thank you.